Welcome to Module 5, Lesson 11, Fractions on a Number Line. Now, if you could look at your first page, you'll notice that on A, B, and C, you have tape diagrams partly shaded in, and they're labeled as a whole. This is 1. Now, let me erase this markings here. If you look below, you'll see that there is a number line. Now, the number line that's right here is for you to go ahead and fill in with those fractional parts that match the tape diagram. So, for example, you have a 0 at one end, and you have a whole at the other end. And then in between, if you count, there are sixths. This would be 1/6 across. Two more. Another one would be 2/6, then 3/6, then 4/6, then 5/6, and the end could be called 6/6, but 6/6 is also a whole, so I'll leave it like that. And then the directions also indicate that they would like you to go ahead and circle the one that's you're shaded at. What does the tape diagram represent? 2/6. You are 2/6 the way across from 0 all the way to 1. Alright, let's try to do that on C. Now on C, this is a 0, this is a whole, again, as indicated by this 1 here. And if you count, these are twelfths. That's 1/12, 2/12, 3/12, 4/12, and, ooh, that's hideous, sorry. I'd like to do this really fast so I don't waste a lot of time, but I guess you could be writing it in your book or your paper as well. These are twelfths, and of course, all the way across would be 12/12, right? Now I'm going to stop at 11/12 right there. I'm going to leave 12/12 as a whole. And again, we have to circle the 4/12 because that is exactly where we are at. 4 are shaded, 8 are not, 4/12. In another portion of your paper, you have to draw those all on your own. So the number lines haven't been given to you. So you could draw a number line right underneath, and then you'll see that this would be 0, tick mark, tick mark, tick mark, and a whole. And how many hops does it take to get across? It takes 1, 2, 3, 4. So this must be fourths. This would be a fourth, 2/4, 3/4, and the end would be a whole, or 4/4. And again, we have to circle. We are at the middle one, 2/4. Speaking of middle, the one right below it is shaded in the middle as well, right? But this time, on the number line, we're talking about eighths. This is 0, an eighth, 2/8, 3/8, and then of course in the middle of a number is 4/8, which is a half, right? 5/8, 6/8, 7/8, and in the end 8/8 or a whole. And then you circle the one where you're at. Next page, you are supposed to compare the equivalency of 3A to 3B. Now, A was 3/4, and B was 4. Oh, I said 3/4. Whoops. 2/4. It was 2/4. And B was 4/8. I'm comparing these backwards because we have to show division to show equivalency. These two are equal to each other. Why? Because the 4 and the 8 got split into two parts, making 2/4. Now it's very important that you notice that letter B asks you to compare 3A to 3B. This is supposed to say 3A to 3C. So please make sure you compare 3A to 3C. Now for the last question I want to show you, it's the one here, partition a number line. I keep using that instead of the little pointer thing. So we want to partition a number line from 0 to 1, and we want to cut it into fourths. So here's my number line, 0 to 1. We cut it into fourths. So a fourth, 2 fourths, 3 fourths. Now they want you to decompose 3 fourths into 6 equal lengths. So right now, to get to 3 fourths, does it take 6 lengths? 1, 2, 3. It only takes 3. Now to double it to 6, you need to double the markings and put a marking in between every number. Now does it take 6 hops? 6 equal lengths. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 out of 8. So really, 3 fourths could be called 3 fourths, or it could be called 6/8. They're both landing in the exact same spot on the number line. And you could show that by putting an equal sign in between them and saying that the 3 fourths doubled, right? They got multiplied both by 2 because we put an extra part in each one, making it doubled. And now it's also 6/8. On C, they want you to write that, but showing division. So start with the 6/8 and divide them in 2 so that you can get the 3 fourths that you originally began with. Now all you were stating is that the two numbers, 3 fourths, right here, is also a 6/8. And we could also have written 6/8 here, and if we counted by eighths. Alright? If you have any more questions on writing fractions on number lines and showing their equivalency to other fractional pieces, then see me, and I'd be glad to help. Thanks.